welcome to Messages of Hope. I'm your host, Jill Lublin, and delighted you joined me tonight for another evening of hope and inspiration. Tonight we have Jennifer Robin. She's the author of Growing More Beautiful, and here tonight to help us grow more beautiful, I hope.
Absolutely.
So, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And delighted, I know you have a beautiful book called Growing More Beautiful, and I want to really start with this whole, what I call media frenzy about what it's like to be beautiful. You're an image consultant, you help people with this, you're an artist, you obviously know and see beauty, and you are beautiful.
Thank you.
So what do you think about the images, I'll call it obsession, with being so beautiful?
Well, it's being perfect, and it's a very limited idea of perfect. It's a certain age, it's a certain body type. It's very, it's like a straitjacket. And these images are constantly being played out in front of us. The way the celebrities look, the world is getting smaller and smaller. And we've internalized this idea that this is how we're supposed to look. And if we don't look like that, there's something we're supposed to be doing to change ourselves. And even if we're not conscious of that, that message is really has permeated just every woman's life, pretty much. So there's some options that I present in my book to just feel better about yourself and to look at this culture in a different and more a fresh and inspired way.
What made you want to help people look more beautiful or look better? What inspired this for you?
Well, I'm a career stylist. I'm an image consultant. I've been doing it since my 20s. And my first book, which was called Clothe Your Spirit, really brought up the idea of individuality. How do you recognize yourself as the unique being that you are? And that was in the days when there was really dressing to win and dress for success. So that kind of started the ball with personal style, that idea. And then as the years passed, I noticed that in my career as an artist, that I didn't seem to be succumbing so much to the age-related negativity, that I was happy as a painter, that I found beauty everywhere, and I really wanted to share that idea that the subtitle of Growing More Beautiful is an artful approach to personal style. And that's a very unique and unusual concept, really.
So what does that mean to you, that we embrace our individual style? Like, what would you share with our viewers about how to embrace their individual style? What should we do?
It really begins with a very simple idea of who says this is beautiful and who says this isn't. And I think if we allow ourselves to question that a little bit more, we'll find that we have a very strong sense of what's important to us and what we believe in. So it's looking outside those narrow parameters and saying, who says? Well, who says? And then going to the next step, how am I different? How am I unique? And owning that. And when you in that process, you really begin to make some choices. And when you feel, instead of maybe shy, some embarrassment about how you look, instead of you realize you're owning these choices, it's very empowering, and that type of confidence really enhances everyone's beauty.
I think that's really interesting, because you're right about the whole celebrity. You watch them in these gorgeous gowns, and I drool and think, well, I'm not going to look like that. If you look at their workout schedules and their
right. They're paid for that. And really, as I watched the last Oscars, there was not an ounce of flesh on anyone, and we don't really stop and think that. We just internalize it, and then when we look at ourselves, we're like, oh my God, there's all these lumps and bumps. I better do something. What should I do? And then you can go back and say, well, wait a minute, who says? Who says that is what's beautiful? Is that even beautiful to you? I know that I don't particularly find that beautiful. I just find it everywhere. It's the same idea with erasing someone's wrinkles. That's become so common, but is that really beautiful? Do you like that? That's really the very first question. Do you like how that looks? Honestly, the answer is often no. I don't care for a head like a lollipop on a little stick. But we're so inured to think of it that way, and it begins by questioning. There's many different ways to be beautiful.
We have such an emphasis on youth in our society, and Joan Rivers. I mean, how many facelifts she has? I don't even know how old she is, but I know she's not as old as she looks. I mean, I know she's not as young as she looks, is what I'm saying, and it becomes this, and not just her. I'm just using her.
It's a kind of a plastic-looking face.
Yes.
The thing about facelifts is that they they do erase the signs of aging, but again, does it make the person more beautiful? Are you attracted to Joan Rivers? Do you think, wow, Joan Rivers, what a wonderful looking woman? You know, she's funny, she's herself, but I don't think we really love that look. And so that allows us to, again, choose for ourselves what appeals to us. And my objective is to get some of that away from your unconscious and make it more conscious. Help you make choices so that you feel like you own them and then can be proud of them. And then you're less buffeted by all the ideas of erasing the signs of aging or being unnaturally thin. It's a really difficult, frustrating thing for women. And let's make it a little easier, a little more beautiful.
Well, I think for men too. I mean, let's face it.
It is.
The men they're showing are the same issues, and I don't know about you, but the men I know who should be in their 60s and 70s by now are looking a lot younger than that, which tells me they're doing face work.
Well, you know, I don't have anything per se against that. It's just the way that we are starting to feel like we have to.
Right.
Like it's a mandate. It's a mandate to look a certain way. And suddenly you're starting to read about these procedures and you step back and go, wait a minute, I don't even like how that looks. Not to mention the very real health issues involved in all of this. The risks involved in plastic surgery and in some of these injectables, the strange diets people are on, fanatic exercising. I mean, these are not things that are enhancing our well-being. And Jill, they're not making us more beautiful. And that's what we really want. We really want to be seen for who we are. We want to be more beautiful. We want to be more of ourselves.
So what does being beautiful mean to you? You talk about growing more beautiful, but what does the word beautiful mean to you?
Well, growing more beautiful is such a natural thing. It's part of nature and the world around us. And I believe that as women, as we go through life, it's really natural to feel more confident, but countering that is all this negativity towards aging. And I find as an artist, I'm a painter, I'm a visual artist, I love to be out in nature. I specialize in landscapes, and the beauty of the natural world, when I am looking at that and breathing that in, I feel like it's entering my pores. I feel more beautiful by looking at something that's beautiful. So in turn, that means the whole process of how I care for my appearance is something that should inspire me and make me feel that sense of beauty. And that's what I think we really crave.
So the landscape looking back at you as you look in the mirror
exactly.
is
essential.
Blossoming
trees, the sunsets, the beautiful green of our hills, all those things. I mean, that's what I look to inspire me. And I really believe that looking at beauty makes you more beautiful. And if you can try your hand at some kind of creation, you can pick up a paintbrush, make a few brush strokes. I think it's better than Botox. I think the paintbrush loaded with paint that you drip onto your canvas, it just gives you a sense of peace and harmony that shows in your face, you know, and that carries through to any type of creative expression or anything you're passionate about. Those are the people that we find beautiful because they wear their passion and their love and their involvement in their face and in their energy.
Yes. Just out of curiosity, did you feel beautiful as a young girl?
Well, that's a great question because I grew up with Christy Brinkley being the standard of beauty. So I never did. I always felt, and I think everyone on the playground feels like they're not her, that you're just a little different than everyone else. My hair was curly, my nose wasn't straight, I wasn't a blonde. So you grow up, every single woman really grows up feeling like she's not the it girl. And I think that was the impetus for my first book. How do we learn to really love and relish what is unique about us? And then how do we carry that into our later years? It's a challenge.
So you didn't feel pretty?
No, I didn't feel.
I don't think anyone did, really.
No, that's it. Everybody is. You're never the flavor. You're never the it girl. I don't think there's anyone growing up that really feels that way. It's just it's from our youngest memory, and I think that what comes with that is a certain amount of not wanting have anyone make fun of us, a little bit of embarrassment, and as we get older, we are continuing to have those fears of maybe somebody will think, I didn't know what was in, I might seem clueless, and these things really cause us to shrink back and pull away and not be all that we can be, not express ourselves.
Well, and kids, let's face it, are mean, and I think it starts a bit on the playground, or you don't feel pretty, or everyone has to keep up. I noticed today, in today's kids, it's all about having the right shoes and the right outfits and the right makeup and a certain highlight in the hair.
Right.
My 12-year-old cousin shows up with highlights in her hair, and I'm thinking, oh my God, she's coloring her hair at actually it started about 10. That scared me.
Well, you amplify that by 40, by a woman who's 40, a woman who's 50, 60, and that same pressure to be cool and to be like your peers, and some of these things, I don't want to say it's a losing battle, because I don't think of it as a battle, but it's a natural part of life to have our face and figure change. And when you feel that you're not allowed to do that, and the other kids on the playground are going to think less of you if you don't, it just causes this a very unbeautiful kind of experience, let's call it that.
I think you're right from before about how it shows in your energy, in your face, in how you live your life, right?
And
your
your
level of
caring and your
happiness.
connection to other women. The establishing sort of an envious type of competition because you don't feel good about yourself. And I hate that. I want to change that. I really do. I'm really dedicated with this book to giving women a different perspective so that they can share in beauty, and it can be something that we participate in and not have to feel competitive about.
So
big order, tall order,
yeah,
but
big one.
Yeah, but this is just a different kind of way of seeing the world. And seeing inside your closet, and inside your makeup drawers, and inside your mirror. This is all, getting dressed is nothing that we meditate on, and it's something we do every day. We brush our hair, we put on clothes, so it's a chance to really engage in a more creative, personal, individual sort of way that we can really take care of every time we get dressed.
So besides who says, if you were to work with an average, whether it's a woman or a man, what would you say for them to turn inward and ask themselves? What should we be asking ourselves?
Well, what do you love? What do you, Jill, find beautiful? You heard me talk about the blossoming trees and nature. It can be anything from architecture to museums to what moves you? What makes your heart really warm to the idea of what you're looking at? And it's not the same for everyone. So just taking that directly to fashion, that means that what you like isn't necessarily what I like. The colors you're drawn to aren't the colors that I'm drawn to. So it's finding out really through seeing, which is really the path of an artist, what do you love to look at and engage in.
And you're talking also about color.
Of course.
Yeah.
Shape, style, texture, all those things that we love to look at are really the basis of what we should be moving toward in terms of what we like to wear. And there's a lot of women that really feel safe only in black. And I think that's again, not wanting to be embarrassed, not wanting to do it wrong. There's a little bit of a shame factor, but it's also not really knowing where to begin. How do you know how to choose color? How do you know? And we're a visual species. You just have to look and identify what it is you love to look at.
Well, and some definitely look better on us than others.
Absolutely.
And knowing how to pick shades, which I think is a bit of an art. I mean, you have such an artist's eye. I don't know that most people do. I know when I've worked with image consultants, they will pick out things that I never would have seen on me, and it's like, wow, that is so beautiful. And I think having the outside eye to help, whether it be the buyer at the store, right? You can ask the buyer at the store to help.
Yes, definitely.
That they have
the many wonderful free services are. And that's really also the artist's journey, is learning to see. And in order to see, you have to be willing to look. And women are kind of afraid of their mirrors. They tend to peek through their fingers for fear that they're going to see something they don't like. And I want to engage and invite you to see more as an artist. And that's really how my book is structured, that it leads you through all the challenges from cleaning your closet and choosing colors and styles, but how do you perceive it in an artist's perspective, because like you said, the more you learn to look, learn to see, the better you can see for yourself. But color is also very emotional. So if